Hello everyone, I'm in Thurmond, West Virginia today, and Thurmond is owned by the National Park Service, has a population of 5 at the 2020 census, and comprises an area about 1/10 of a square mile, so it's pretty small. You're only talking about 60 acres or so. Check this out, this is the main business district right here, and we're going to see some trains going through here. CSX and RJ Corman. Amtrak comes through here also. Go ahead and start the video, son. Here we go. Thurmond, West Virginia. The business district here was built in about 1884, and this is an old Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad line. This is Main Street right here, Thurmond, West Virginia. All right, here comes the train, eastbound. There's the old coaling tower on the left. DPU, I see you. Wow, they are working hard. That was loud. Wow, that was one of the longest coal trains I've ever seen. And those DPUs were really working hard. That was a good one. Got my hat on today. All right, let's see what else we can get into. That was a good one. Alrighty, so here's the bank over here, downtown Thurmond. I'm going to stop in here and take out some money so I can run up the road here at McDonald's. So let's go on in. Nice place. Ah, should have known that. Alright, well this place is closed. Check out this Fairbanks Morse coaling tower, built in 1922. It's got the date right there. It's got the Fairbanks Morse plate still on it. This is where they used to load steam trains. Steam locomotives would run underneath of that and they drop coal down into it. We'll get a closer look up here too. Here's where a track used to be. Look at this, right here in the coaling tower. Here you go, we're right inside of it. Hey, there's some stairs over there too. Maybe we can walk up those stairs. No, that's not going to happen. Some kind of a building associated with this right there. And let's see what we've got here. Inside the coaling tower, built in 1922. Modern technology for the time. Let's get another train. Okay, we're on the west side of the coaling tower this time. And there's the stairs that go up. I bet there's probably been some kids that have actually climbed up there. There's Town Hall right there. Now back in 2005, they had a bigger population. They had 7 people in Thurmond back in 2005. They got 5 here now. And during the elections in 2005, 6 of them were running for an office on the town council. Here's the historic guest house that I filmed last time I was here when they were just starting to rehab this. They were going to turn it into like a bed and breakfast kind of a thing. Looks like it's not open yet. This would be perfect to stay in. Be up on that second floor right there. Look at the view of the trains. Heck yeah, I'd definitely spend a couple nights there. And the river, New River, is just on the other side of that electrical cabinet there. Just can't see it because of the trees. Hey, here's the Sid Childers Margie Richmond house. Look at this. Like to hang out on that balcony. I wonder if you could rent that one. Well, it doesn't look like this house is being used, unfortunately. Look at this one over here, Marilyn Brown house. That'd be another good one. If that thing there was opened up, I'd spend a couple nights in that one too. Spend the whole weekend there. Watch some trains go by. And another house over that way, another big 2-story one. That's a nice looking one. That one could be lived in. Let's take a close look at the rail. Here's the passing siding, and that's 140 pounds per yard. That's a pretty good size rail. Rolled by Bethlehem Steelton, 1983. And the top of the rail has a little bit of rust on it. Been a little bit of a while since there's been a train on this one, probably not today, maybe yesterday. And see if I can find a spot over there for the main track. Okay, the main track is 136 pounds per yard at this point, and it was rolled in 2019. That's really hard to see. I know it's hard to read right there. Maybe I can find a better spot. But look at this. We got a clear signal for an eastbound train. So we're gonna have something come through here pretty soon. All right, here we go. We got an eastbound train coming. Right next to this 1922 coaling tower. DPU, I hear you. DPU, I see you. Wow, they were loud, working hard. Probably around 13 to 15,000 tons of coal on this train. This is a long one. That was cool looking. Somebody put some time into that one. That was some pretty awesome looking graffiti. Here comes the end. There's the end of train device, chirping on 452.9375. The locomotive has a front end of train device, and it's 5 megahertz higher. I'm gonna film one down there where that thing's clanking. That's pretty cool. Well, as long as the train's moving by, you get a little bit of a breeze, but I am burning up right now. I'm gonna have to take the shirt off and get something lighter on because it's really humid out. I don't know what the temperature is, but humidity is just terrible. All right, that was pretty cool. Let's see what else we can get into. But wait, there's more. We got another train coming. I'm finally cooling down just a little bit. Got really hot. Eastbound train. Bunch of locomotives. Might be a mixed freight. This might be a reroute, I hope. One of my favorite trains, got the box cars on it. I love box cars. Down there at the train station, there was a third track, and they ripped that out since last time I was here. There was a track that crossed the road and was parallel to the two main tracks on the left. It went all the way down past the train station and dead ended down there. So I took that one out since last time I was here. Whew, it's hot. Let's look around a little bit, see what we can find while we're here. All right, so here's the Amtrak stop, and this is owned by the National Park Service for the New River Gorge National Park Preserve, and this is an old Chesapeake, Ohio railroad station. It was renovated in 1995 and added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1984. And most of the town, which is over that way, was built in 1884. Should be an Amtrak train coming through this evening, somewhere around 7 p.m. Amtrak Cardinal still runs through here. This is their second smallest stop on the whole Amtrak system. Here's another look at the depot. And the original depot was built in 1891. Then it burnt in 1903, and this one was built in 1904. The railroad line here was completed in 1873 by the Chesapeake, Ohio Railway. And since I was here last time, there was another track that came off the R.J. Corman spur right there, crossed the road right here, and it came right up through here. It was right next to the station, and the track went down that way, maybe a few hundred feet or so before it dead ended, and that's all gone now. So that's the most recent change since I was last here. I was here, I think, maybe 2 years ago. Here's that tower that Shoestring climbed up and made a video. He was like maybe a third of the way up that tower. That's the tower. Here's a hobo tag on the tower. I'm just trying to get some of the weeds out of the way so I can see it. It's kind of hard to see. Hey, here's an old abandoned signal department building for CSX. Looks like this thing hasn't been used in years. Doors open on it too. Let's see what it looks like in here. Got a desk and everything. Signal department. Look at this. Got an air conditioner. Well, not much to see in there. Is that a sink? They've got a sink over there. Maybe in the bathroom. Now, where would the toilet? Yeah, there's a toilet over there. Wonder where that would go to. You gotta have a sewage system for that. I spent 20 years working for the health department, and I know that's got to go into a septic system. Look at this. This is where the pipe came out for the toilet and the sink. Came out of the bottom of the building here. There's a little indenture across the road here, and it just went straight over the hill to New River. Huh. Health code violation. Hello everyone, I'm in Thurmond, West Virginia at the Amtrak station, and this train station was originally built in 1891, and then it burnt in 1903 and was rebuilt in 1904. So the current train station here goes back to 1904. And just out of interest, if you were wondering when the last steam locomotive went through here, 1958. We got an Amtrak train coming, so that's what I'm waiting for right now. Hey, I'm inside the train station here now. Check this out. And the last steam train went through here about 1958. Let's see. Hey, there's somebody in there. Look at there. It's got a typewriter and doing telegraph. This is now the visitor center. And you can buy a pop in here. They got other souvenirs you can get here too. And it's run by the Park Service. There you go, the inside of the train station. All right, so train station is right there, and I want to show you this bridge. Look at this. This was designed and built by the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway in 1915 and completed in 1916. And car traffic is one way. So if another car is coming from that way, they have to wait for this car to go across. And I have videos where those people are standing. I've stood there and filmed trains going over this bridge. Sure would like to get one today going over it, but they're saying today they're not running the bridge. No trains are running on the bridge today. I'll get another look over there. Okay, I'm in the middle of the bridge right here. Railroad tracks on that side. There's the river. New River. Look at this, you can see right through there. You can see right down to the water. There's the railroad tracks. R.J. Corman. That's the PAX line. And if you're walking over this bridge and a car comes, there's this standout right here. And there's at least one more down that way. You can see another one down there on the left also. And there's a locomotive sitting there. It just came down a couple hours ago and stopped. But I'm told that they're not running any coal trains today, but they will tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning. There you go. Let's get another train. But wait, there's more. It's been about 3 hours and 45 minutes and we're finally going to have a train. I've been hearing the end of train device on my scanner. I started picking it up at 4:45, I guess it is. So I've been picking it up for quite a while. It's going to be coming from that direction because the lights are all red. So it should be here any time. Oh, I hear it. Let's get up a little higher. Been about 3 hours and 45 minutes, something like that, between trains. And it's hot. I've been dumping water on my head. Had to change shirts, I got so hot. Here it comes. Scanners help a lot. Going past the Amtrak station, Thurmond, West Virginia. I see you. Shout out to Perky Pyram. This is a lot of coal. About 115, 116 tons per car. Each car weighs about 24 tons empty. Then you add the weight of the coal to that. That is a lot of weight. This is a heavy train. The best way to know if a train's coming here is with a scanner. And I've got my scanner right here. See it? You can put the road frequency in for here, which is 160.230. But they don't call out a whole lot of signals. The signals are spaced way apart. So if you miss them calling out a signal, they may not call one out for a few more miles. The best thing to do is to put the end of train frequency in. 452.9375. As soon as you hear that thing chirping, you know you got a train coming. When you're out here in the country like this, because it'll be dead since there's no railroad yards around, there's no trains sitting around. And as soon as you hear that thing chirping, the train doesn't even have to say anything. Then you know you got something coming. And that's how I knew about all the trains here today so far in Thurmond. That's the rear end of train device I'm talking about. And the front end of train device is 5 megahertz higher. Free Ashley. I don't know who that is. Anybody ever seen these ghosts before on these railroad cars? Look at this. I've seen tons of those. There's thousands of those things somebody's painted on hopper cars. You'll see them things all over the place. There's one on the very last car too. There's the end of train device. And it'll make that chirping sound every few minutes or so. Usually for this area, that'll give you about a 5 to 10 minute warning before the train comes. It's way better than just listening to the road frequency. Did you hear that? That noise, that was it. That was it on my scanner. Scanner's right behind me. There's the scanner. Everyone always asks what I use. That's just a cheap Baofeng radio. You can use any radio. I don't recommend these. It's just what I use because they're cheap. They're cheap and small. Anyways, thanks for watching. See if we can get anything else going here. The railroad was completed here in 1873. And this is a Chesapeake and Ohio Railway. Now it's CSX. And you've also got the R.J. Corman branch coming off here to the left. It's a coal branch that goes across the New River over this way. Now they're not running anything today on that line, but maybe we'll get something on that tomorrow. That goes to a coal load out at the end of the spur. All right, we're waiting for Amtrak to come from this direction right here. Should be here anytime. In 1873, W.D. Thurmond acquired 73 acres, and this became Thurmond, West Virginia. And here's the post office right here. There's only 5 residents here. It's the smallest municipality in the state of West Virginia. Let's go ahead and check the post office out. See if I got any mail or anyone else or whatever. Oop. Huh. Why are doors always locked? What's the purpose of a door? Might as well just put a wall there. All right, we should have an Amtrak train coming through here soon. Look at the light. It's on green, got a clear signal. That'll be for the track on the left. Second track over. This Amtrak stop only had 466 passengers in the year 2023. Sanderson, Texas had the least amount with 247 passengers. It is hot and muggy. It's been kind of miserable today, and Amtrak is running 20 minutes late right now. So they should be here within a few minutes. Here comes Amtrak. I put this in 4K just for a shot. They just told the coal train looked good. We'll see if they stop. There's nobody getting on. All right. Nobody getting off. Nope. Nobody's getting off. Nobody got on. Amtrak dropping the signal. There you go. They just knocked the signal down from green to red as Amtrak passed. Nobody got on, no one got off. That's why it's one of the smallest stops in America on the whole Amtrak system. At one time it was the least amount used. Sanderson, Texas takes that. There you go. I filmed the very last New River Amtrak train on this line too. That was a few years ago. I got it here and I got it at Princeton too. I got it in both directions. Princeton is that direction. So I got it in both spots in 4K. All right. There you go. We got Amtrak. Didn't stop this time. I mean, it did stop, but no one got on or off. I was hoping somebody would at least get off, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get some more coal trains. Here we go. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so. If you have time, watch another video. Every view really helps my channel. Thanks for watching. It's time for Chessie and Norfie and the slideshow. Here we go. Hey, little kitty, what you doing in there? That's a good little kitty cat. Just kind of chilling. Located in his natural habitat. Haha, nobody getting off. Well,